Dan and Amy, you remember back in like '96 when I took on IBM supercomputer Deep Blue in that infamous chess match.
Oh, that's right.
That was I think that was actually Gary Kasparov. But in my dreams,
In your dreams,
I
you
was in the
were.
Gary Kasparov position. I'm a fan of chess. I don't get to play it very much, but I learned it as a kid.
Were you in chess club?
No,
Because now that's the thing. That is the cool thing to
well,
be in
that's
chess
good
club.
because it's
Oh, I
great.
love
It
it.
teaches you great strategic thinking.
My kids go to chess camp every summer
Well,
for a week.
there's a that's good.
Mm-hmm. It's
Peyton and
expensive.
Eli. Yeah. Well, there's a Chicago teacher who's also a chess coach at the Earl STEM Academy. His name is Joseph Ocol. And when the Chicago teachers went out on strike for that one-day strike back on April 1st, Ocol wasn't there. He was at school practicing with his chess team.
Uh-oh.
He said in a letter that I have always promised the kids that I shall try to be with them after school, even if I do not get paid. And as for his pay in April 1, since he didn't participate in the strike, he'll only give it up if the money goes to his chess team and not to the teachers union. And that's created a bit of a stir because how dare a Chicago public school teacher act in the interests of the children rather than the union? And we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid Joseph Ocol, chess teacher, or chess coach and teacher at Earl STEM Academy. Joseph, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. And so, did I characterize what happened correctly? And where do you stand? If so, where do you stand right now with Karen Lewis and the Chicago Teachers Union?
They sent me a letter asking me to sign the form that I should give up my April 1st pay, or that if I want to contest it, I should submit a letter, and for me to appear before a hearing this June 6th.
Wait. So you had to submit a letter in order to redirect your pay for April 1st to your chess team as you so desire?
Yeah, it's a form that I need to authorize the union to give up my April 1st pay.
And what's the purpose of the hearing?
Well, the purpose, if I have to contest it, I have to appear before them on June 6th. That will be about 6:15 p.m. And I would not be able to go because that's a Monday. And again, I promised the kids after school I'll be with them as much as possible, even if I don't get paid, because it's something to me that I'd like to help the kids, touch the lives of these kids. You know, Inglewood is not I would say it's a challenging area there. So the most challenging time for a kid to be outside the school building is between 3 to 6. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why I volunteered myself to be with these kids to make lives more productive for them.
Do your students realize how you're helping them and what you've endured to be there for them after school?
Yeah, I've been trying to help them every way I can. Simply because chess is not just a game. Chess is about life. This is about saving lives. And that's the reason why I thought of all the activities, chess would be appropriate there, because it's not only the least expensive activity, it's the most effective in developing critical thinking skills, strategic planning skills for the kids, and letting them be aware that every move that they make, as in life, has a consequence.
And just so we're clear, a lot of people outside of Chicago won't know, even people in Chicago, frankly, the Earl STEM Academy, I should say, is on the south side of the city, right? Are most of your students from low-income families?
Yes, about more than 90% of the population, the school,
and
belong to below poverty line.
Below 90% below poverty line. And are your what's the composition of your chess team, boy, girl, and all that?
Oh, I have the all girls, which won the the national championship last month, and I have also the combination of boys and girls, and we're about there are about almost 40 members.
Was this was this a team, the chess team at Earl STEM Academy? Was this a team you started, or have you just built it out?
I started it. There was no team before Earl, and September I started. That's the month when I joined last September, and it's really not. It's something also about the treatment I got also from certain union members, and from day one, it's saying there's another story about this where.
Well, how are they been bullying you? And you mean they started bullying you, the other teachers, before you even skipped out on the April 1st walkout?
Yeah, the old timers there in that school, they seem not inclined to accept change, and it turned out that I was one of those who was invited to transfer to that school, plus other new teachers. At day one, I already had sensed that they do not want to accept those members of the union who are also old-timers in the school. They seem not inclined to accept newcomers.
And so it wasn't just you coming over there. They were not interested in you starting a chess team?
Yes, and it's more about their self-vested interest, something that they don't want the school to succeed. They don't want their kids to succeed. It's something like a sort of a conspiracy. So I pity the principal. The principal was the one who invited me. So I said, I'll do what I can, even if I don't get peer support. I'm not talking about all the members of the faculty there. I'm talking about the old timers there who seem to think that just because they're union members, they can just bully anybody and just take control of the situation. So we do what we can.
Would you say that the old timers who are opposed to even the formation of a chess team, which is kind of an incredible statement, would you say? I mean, they're just there to bide their time to until they get to retirement. That they're not interested, as you say, in improving the school, improving the product, preparing kids for success in life, the sorts of things that good teachers do.
Yeah, the bottom line really is about the kids, but some people tend to disregard that, and they tend to pretend that they're helping when they're not. There's just deprivation of the peer support. There's sort of a conspiracy to sabotage. We're doing what we can, and the bottom line is we're trying to help the kids.
So it's a huge accomplishment. I mean, you have 40 members of the chess team. I know you're trying to get to Washington, D.C. How did you get the kids?
Oh, no. There are almost 40 members, but I was planning about 15.
Okay.
15 or even less
great.
if whatever funds we have.
This is a tournament in D.C. that you want to take 15 of the team members to.
It's not a tournament. It's an opportunity for us to meet the president and Congressman Davis. And there was an invitation.
I see.
From the office of Congressman Davis to meet the champion team, and we thought maybe we can also bring the other members of the team, because there were boys who won also the fifth place in the nationals, but the girls won the championship.
That's great.
1 year after it started, they're champions. It's quite a story. You're like the Jaime Escalante of chess.
I would say the girls just did their best, and we were just lucky to win. But I'm proud of them because they see chess as a hope for a better opportunity for them in life and towards high school.
Now, do you teach them the King's Indian Defense to Open, Mr. Ocol?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
very much.
It's there are a number of openings, but I always want them to do something just like in life, simplify.
Mm.
You simplify your life, you simplify things, and you get a better hold of your life.
All right, so we're talking to Joseph Ocol, who's the teacher and the chess coach at Earl STEM Academy on the south side of Chicago. So you're trying to get to D.C. You've got 15 of your chess team members that you'd like to take with you, the opportunity to see D.C., meet politicians and so forth, reward them for their championship performance, the quality performances. And how much do you need to raise, and how much have you raised?
We have about, I would say we have about 4,000 as promised by us a donor, but we're trying to raise about, for 15 kids, we're trying to raise about 10,000, about almost 10,000, because we're trying to get also chaperones to be with them.
Sure.
Because we are required to have chaperones with them other than myself.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do.
Uh-oh.
Here's what I'm going to do, because this is such a great story. It's an underreported story. It's you standing up to the union and other people that are just there collecting a paycheck, and to do what you've done on the south side for these kids is so fantastic. I'm going to pledge $3,000 for the $6,000 that you need, and do a dollar for dollar match essentially for maybe some listeners out there would like to come help raise the $6,000 that you need, that you still need to take your team members to D.C., and they can call 312-642-5600. And Joseph, will keep you on the line, get your information, and I'll get you a check, and then we'll direct anybody else who wants to participate to help your team get to D.C. We'll direct them your way as well.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll relay that to the kids today.
Now, the only thing you need to tell them is that it was a conservative who came to your defense. No, I'm just kidding. Joseph, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for what you're doing for the kids. We tell so many bad stories about CPS, and there are great teachers there like you doing amazing things and really opening up doors in children's lives for their continued lifelong success. And really respect what you did in standing up to the union, and respect what you're doing in advance of children's futures there on the south side. Appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much, and more power to your radio station. Thank you to the listeners.
Thank you for joining us. And hold on, and we're going to get your full contact information. Thanks, Joseph.